ESPN thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League. The NFL is online at www.nfl.com.
Welcome to Georgia's Football Practice, the place where the Bulldogs will lay the foundation for a run at the national championship. When we last saw Georgia, quarterback David Green led the Dogs with 3 touchdown passes on his way to an MVP performance and overtime win over Purdue in the Capital One Bowl.
Touchdown to keep the overtime alive into the end zone. Incomplete. Georgia wins it 34-27. What a football game. The Capital One Bowl winners.
Now it's time for Georgia to get at it again. Over the next hour, you're going to have a rare opportunity to see the drills, repetitions, hitting and sweating as the Bulldogs hunker down in anticipation of a grueling college football season. It's a hot, humid day here in Athens, Georgia, as fourth-year head coach Mark Richt continues to fine-tune the 2004 edition of the Georgia Bulldogs. Hello, everyone. I'm Jerry Punch, along with the coach Mike Gottfried and the linebacker Trev Alberts. Glad to have you with us, folks. This is a very unique opportunity, going behind the scenes inside a college football practice. Not only inside the practice, we're going to go inside the coaches. We have 3 coaches wearing microphones: head coach Mark Richt, defensive coordinator Brian Van Gorder, and offensive coordinator Neil Callaway. Now, before we talk to those, let's talk to our experts. And Mike Gottfried, as a coach, day 11 of practice, what are you trying to accomplish here today?
Doc, most of your offense and defense is in. Right now, you want to refine it. Conditioning is big. With the lack of 2-a-day practices, Georgia's only going to have 3 2-a-day practices with a new rule change last year. So you have to condition these players and make sure they're ready to play a full ball game. Backup players, you're looking for guys to come in, play a certain amount of plays and win for you. And the last thing, most important, is get your star players to the game, the starting gate. You can't win the Kentucky Derby if you don't get the horse to the gate. So you have to be able to get your key players and don't get them hurt.
Don't get them hurt. They got a lot of thoroughbreds here in this camp. And Trev, as a player I knew for many years in Nebraska and the NFL, you're still 17 days away from the game opener, opening game of the season. What goes through a player's mind right now?
Well, you know, Doc, I think it really depends on who you are as a player. If you're a freshman, you're just trying to survive. I mean, it's 90 degrees out here. The playbook's this thick. You don't know what you're doing out there. But if you're a veteran guy like David Pollock or David Green, like Coach mentioned, you're just trying to make sure you don't get hurt. This team is full of thoroughbreds. It's 17 days away. Mentally, make sure you're ready. But more importantly, guys, physically, you got to be ready to play for that first game.
Now, normally a football game is divided into halves or 4 quarters. In a practice session, they are called periods. Today there will be 12 5-minute periods, and before they even begin period number 1, they have what they call flex or stretch, is where we're headed over to the field right now as the players are stretching and trying to make sure that they don't get any injuries, as Mike Gottfried talked about. And while we're headed over, Mike, let's talk a little bit about what offensively Georgia has to do coming off a disappointing season in 2003 on the offensive side of the ball.
Doc, I think first of all the question mark is the offensive line. They gave up a lot of sacks last year. They didn't protect David Green as well as they need to. They didn't run the ball effectively. They didn't have a 100-yard rusher in any game last year. Reggie Brown is a guy I think really has to step up. He's a wide receiver on the other side of Fred Gibson. If he has a big year, I think Georgia has a big year on offense. And they're counting on a freshman running back, Danny Ware. Freshman running back. When school starts, he may, you know, he's got a lot of issues then, but freshman running back lead the charge.
Georgia did not have a runner run for over 100 yards last year for the first time, only the second time in 32 years. That's how difficult it was to run the football here in Bulldog country. Now, we're watching the stretch here, and players understand this now, but even a decade ago, stretching wasn't a major part of practice. And if you don't stretch before and after practice, particularly preseason when everybody's cramped up and you're tired and you're fatigued, you can tear a muscle, pull a hamstring, or have a significant injury. That's what's happening right now. Let's talk a little bit about defense, Trev Alberts. They've got some great ones here that Georgia will line up with in 2004.
Well, Brian Van Gorder, the defensive coordinator, I think one of the top coordinators in all of college football. Love their defense, very aggressive. And I've always thought you build a defense from the inside out. And I think if you look at Georgia this year, they have that. I mean, obviously back at safety, Thomas Davis, and middle linebacker, Odell Thurman. Of course, he's got the 3-game suspension, but he'll be back. And then up front, David Pollock, lots of pressure. The key, I think, though, where this defense can get better is if they get some help, take some pressure off of David Pollock so he doesn't have so many double teams.
Let's listen in to head coach Mark Richt.
Oh, no. Can you believe they did that? You never would have come if you knew that was going to happen. That's not a bad look, though, on you, really, when you think about it. That's probably what you look like in about 40 years. Well, you can straighten it out afterwards. Well, you got a right to shave it off.
And this is more of the social time of the practice, Mike. I know a lot of times you coached over the years at Kansas and at Pittsburgh where you walk around and you can really have some fun with the players while they're relaxing during this early session.
Doc, you're right. This is an important part because as a head coach, sometimes you don't see a lot of players on the field. You're working groups, and so this gives you a chance to talk about their family, talk about their girlfriend, talk about school starting, talk about other issues.
I got to tell you, Coach, as a player, it's one of the most uncomfortable times for me. You know, I mean, just coaches come over, you're asking me about my girlfriend, you're asking me about school. I don't want to talk about that. It's football time.
Or even pick with you about your haircut, which had to be a little bit humorous for a player here a moment ago. Now, the next thing that'll happen here after flex is they'll get a look at the kicking drills. And you know, Georgia had a pretty good play kicker last year in Billy Bennett. He was a walk-on and started 4 years and set 5 NCAA records. And this year they're in search of a place kicker, Mike, and that's an important part of any football team, how you kick the football.
Boy, I think that's the biggest question Mark Richt has, Trev, because you replace a Billy Bennett, and they're not sure about who's going to be the starter. They got 2 kickers right now going head-to-head.
I got to tell you, Coach, too, it pains me as a linebacker, you know, as players, you're out here banging heads. But my coach is right. I mean, this team could come down to the kicker. I mean, Billy Banks, say what you want about kickers. This guy's the all-time leading scorer in the Southeastern Conference history of its football. So if Georgia's going to get back, they're going to get the Orange Bowl play for national championship, one of those kickers is going to have to step up.
You can swat down passes. You can make all those tackles you want as a linebacker. If that kicker doesn't get to the uprights, you're still probably going to go home a loser. So you got to take care of that little guy.
We're going to have to find the kickers today because I guarantee you these guys are going to run, big guys run around sweating, working. The kicker's going to kick a couple balls. He'll go play some cards.
Doc, you talk about special teams at Georgia. I think when you look at college football, they pick 2 different ways to do special teams. You can hire a special teams coach. I did that. I hired Scott O'Brien back in 1987 at the University of Pittsburgh. He's now with the Baltimore Ravens. He was in charge of everything. But a lot of colleges like Georgia, they'll put different coaches in charge of the punt team, the kickoff team, the kick receiving team. So you have different guys involved in that. Both ways work.
Well, I think you're right, Coach. The other thing to notice here is kicking game, how important it is. It's the start of practice. Coach Richt is making a statement to his players right now that, guys, it's not just about kicking. It's not time to relax. Kicking, Coach Osborne always told us at Nebraska, is good to 7 to 10 points a game. If you win the kicking game, that's 7 to 10 points a game.
All right, flex is over. They're into kicking. We'll show you our schedule today. Coming up next, Mark Richt will line them up and talk to his players. Then it's a couple of periods of fundamentals. Dallas, then skeleton, then team, where they start to prepare for the opener against Georgia Southern. When we come back, head coach Mark Richt will sit the Bulldogs down and chat with them about what's ahead here on this day of practice. Stay with us.
Reggie Jackson here to tell you that the best way ever to improve your hitting just got even better. It's the new Hit Away Title Series.
Hit Away has helped more than 1 million batters improve their balance, timing, hand-eye coordination, muscle memory, and power mechanics through the simple process of repetitive hitting. 1 million hitters said no more chasing balls, no more batting cages. And now the new improved Title Series takes a revolution in training even farther.
I know a thing or two about titles, and here are 5 reasons you shouldn't take another swing without the Hit Away Title Series.
The Hit Away Title Series is more adjustable, meaning easier setup and faster practice time for your strike zone, righty or lefty. It's more durable with a reinforced nylon steel cord. It's engineered for better pacing and more controlled setup time between hits. The ball is made with top grain leather and a durable solid core. And a new sleeve design gives you better visibility along with the best contact feel ever. Hit Away attaches easily to a tree or pole, indoors or out.
The Hit Away Title Series makes practicing easier than ever. It's great to be a singles hitter, but it's even better to be a doubles hitter.
Whether you play Little League Baseball or Olympic softball, Hit Away is a serious training tool. It allows me to use repetition to improve my swing and get solid hits anywhere in the strike zone.
The Hit Away Title Series for baseball or softball is yours for $29.95. Call toll-free in the next 10 minutes, and you'll also get a Gorilla Gold grip enhancer and a pair of genuine leather batting gloves absolutely free. If you don't see improvement in your swing, timing, and batting average, you'll get your money back, guaranteed. Or order online at hitaway.com, where you can also get a portable Hit Away pole. Or Hit Away tennis. Act now before this offer is long gone.
The only way to stay on top is to keep getting better. So be your best ever with the Hit Away Title Series.
With Player of the Year honors in question, the game's elite head back to Firestone.
Look at this. Look at this. Oh, what a beauty.
As Phil Mickelson, Ernie Els, and red-hot PGA Championship winner Vijay Singh battle three-time NEC winner Tiger Woods in a tournament that could topple Tiger's 5-year hold on the world's #1 ranking. The NEC Invitational. Live first-round coverage begins Thursday at 3 on ESPN.
Back in Athens, Georgia, we are behind the scenes at the University of Georgia preseason football practice, and we've already had the flexing and stretching. And Mike Godfrey, there are certain fundamental parts that are normal for every coach's practice.
Yeah, building a practice is like building a house. The fundamentals is the basement, and then you go individual where the running back coach has his running backs. Then you go to group where maybe the running backs go with the wide receivers and a quarterback. Then you put them all together at the end, Jerry, with team, and you either start specialty period in the beginning or the end.
Mark Richt addressing his team here prior to starting period number 1. Let's listen in.
That's your spot, right? Well, hey, Ron, what happened to the big fan here? What's that? The power? Okay. No power today, man. I see you in there. I'll give you about another minute. Get your breath. Get some water if you need it. If you need water and didn't get it now. If you need water and didn't get it now. All right, looks like everybody's ready. All right, give me your eyes, man. All right, today, hey, give me your eyes, man. Today, period 12 periods. 12 periods, no break. No break. I think if you need a break between Dallas and Skelly, we may just take a knee for 2 or 3 minutes and get some water, but you shouldn't need it. You shouldn't need it. Spider pads are not for contact today, they're for protection, all right? Not for contact, but for protection. We'll have the contact later on in the scrimmage this afternoon. All right, 2 periods of fundamental work, and then 3 and 4 will go in Dallas. 5 through 7 will be Skelly, and both those will be whiz. Both will be whiz, full speed as usual, and let's get the strip going again. Not many strips at all. A lot of ball disruptions, but not a lot of strips. So let's get that going again. You can work on that. Offensive players, protect the ball. Then after that, we're just going to break into offense and defense and work on Georgia Southern for the last 25 minutes. Okay, it shouldn't be that taxing of a day at all. But when we get into those drills, we're going to get after it. And then we are going to have a little pass rush during Skelly. All right, we're going to have a little pass rush there. All right, man, I was watching a play it happened yesterday. And last night I was looking at the tape, and I want to kind of explain it to you. to kind of show what we're trying to get done here at Georgia when we talk about finishing the drill. All right? We're in our trade package, and Thomas Davis is on the edge as a will linebacker. Thomas comes in, knocks over the fullback, gets about that far from a sack, all right? And normally some guys would think their job's done. The ball gets thrown downfield for about a 15-yard square in completion. He turns and runs and makes the tackle on a square in. Rushes the passer, knocks over the back, almost sacks the QB, sprints 20 yards down the field and makes the hit. That's what finishing the drill is all about. Russ Tanner on a screen comes out about 20 yards down the field, makes a direct hit on the back, and actually roaches the guy at the end, 20 yards down the field. That's great hustle and finishing the drill. One time, Mikey Henderson got beat deep. He got beat off the jam. Looked like all hope was lost. We catch the ball. It happened right about right here. We catch the ball. Mikey's about 5 yards behind, and he just hustles. Full speed, as hard as he can go. The ball slows the receiver down just enough. Receiver thought he was going to score, and right there on that 1 yard line, Mikey punches the ball, knocks the ball through the end zone. That's a touchback. That's defense's ball on the 20-yard line going that way. As a true freshman, he might have just quit because he got beat, but he didn't. Ends up making a great play. Makes a great play. Brian McClendon catches a little square in, keeps his feet. I could have fell down. Kept his feet, turns up the sideline. Tyson is running a post about 40 yards away as far as his split, and then 50 yards down the field, he makes the last block to score the touchdown. All right, that's what we talk about when we're saying finish the drill. That's what we mean when we say finish the drill. Now, everybody on this team can do that. Everybody on this team can give great effort. All right, and most of you older guys do, and you younger guys, when I watch that film, I see a guy get beat, I see him quit. I see a guy run a square in or something and turns up the field, and I see a linebacker don't think he can catch him, so he quits. I'll see an offensive player catch the ball and Skelly and everybody else turns back and runs back to the huddle instead of going downfield and blocking somebody. We can't have that, man. We can't have that. Finish the drill. Today, 12 periods, no break unless we need it. Let's get a break, go to period one, man. Let's go. Let's have a good day.
And you've heard those words time and again, those three words, finish the drill.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing that the young kids coming in from high school guys have to figure out. You come from high school, when you play at this level, it's called playing hard every play. What separates the great players in college football, the David Pollacks, the Thomas Davises, Coach Rich just said, and David Green, is they understand how to play hard every single play.
Fundamentals coming up next, periods number 1 and 2. They have helmets on, but no shoulder pads. They have what they call spider pads, tiny pads underneath their jerseys. More when we come back.
Remember that guy who used to be called Wild Thing? The guy who wanted to spend the entire honeymoon indoors? Remember the one who couldn't resist a little mischief? Yeah, that guy. He's back. Viagra. Not all medications are for everyone. Ask your doctor if Viagra is right for you.
You know, ideas and inventions come from people in all walks of life. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? If so, Invention Submission Corporation has information to help you get started. ISC is America's largest inventor service firm. Call now and learn how to submit your idea to companies through ISC's databank and apply for a patent. Even if your idea is just to improve an existing product, call for ISC's free information.
For your free inventor's information, call 1-800-554-9000.
I was very specific that the game starts the minute you walked in the door.
This fall, one self-made billionaire will make someone a millionaire.
The game is a series of tests to reveal the qualities that I feel are important in a person.
I am one of the most competitive people you will ever meet.
If I have to cheat a little bit, I'll cheat a little bit.
I can be their friend and stab them in the back if it's called for.
Who will pass his test for success? The Benefactor.
You're out of here.
ABC premiere Monday, September 13th, only on ABC.
Looking for for a great car at a great price?
Check out this month's special at Kia of Augusta. Right now, we're blowing out every brand new 2004 Kia at absolute invoice. You pay what we pay. Kia Rio, Spectra, Optima, Sedona, Sorrento, and the luxurious Kia Monte. Every 2004 Kia in stock, on sale right now at absolute invoice. Plus, you get Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile factory warranty. This month's special price at Kia of Augusta on Gordon Highway.
It's gotta be a Kia.
It's gotta be a Kia.
Born Toyota certified pre-owned vehicles means you get quality, low mileage, next to new Toyotas with better than new car warranties. All Toyotas must pass a 160-point quality assurance inspection and be 100% mechanically correct. Born certified pre-owned Toyotas come with a 6-year, 100,000-mile warranty and prices start at just $79.95 with 0 down. Come see why we are Augusta's #1 certified pre-owned Toyota dealer. Born Toyota, Washington Road, just west of I-20, where great deals are born every day.
Back in Athens, Georgia at the University of Georgia preseason practice. You know, Saturday night, ESPN's coverage of the NFL preseason continues when the New York Jets take on the high-powered offense of the Indianapolis Colts. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern time with NFL Live. This game also available in Spanish on ESPN Deportes and in high definition on ESPN HD. Call your cable operator, DirecTV, or the Dish Network today. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Now, Mike Godfrey, the coach, and I are over here with the offense watching Mark Richt look over the running backs and quarterbacks. Mike, what are they trying to accomplish here?
Well, first of all, Mark Richt did a great job of talking to the team and reinforcing the positives of how to practice. So you watch that, and you're a player. You want to be somebody he mentions. Here in this drill, Jerry, what you get here is you get the snap. The quarterback's getting the snap, and now you work on laying the ball in the hands of the tailback or fullback, not making a mistake here, not fumbling it, look it in, and then carrying out your fake as Shockley did right there. So you want to try to entice a linebacker to stay with you if you're the quarterback. You want to have good ball handling, put it on your hip, fake the linebacker out, or get somebody in secondary to buy the fake.
Less than a minute remaining here in period number 1. We have 2 periods of fundamentals, what you're talking about, being able just to walk through. This is basically a walkthrough today. They don't have pads on, but these walkthroughs maybe are even more critical than the contact days in understanding how to run the offense.
Jerry, when I was coaching, it was talk it, walk it, and chalk it. And you stay with all those things. Fundamentals is, like I said before, it's the basement. It's what you can always go back to. I think of the game at Tennessee and Georgia last year where the Tennessee team was going in just before half and fumbled a handoff. And that's why you practice this. You practice it every day. The handoff is very important.
Totally changed the complexion of that ball game up at Tennessee last year, and Georgia ended up scoring 41 points on a very good Tennessee defense. Now, that horn a moment ago signals the end of period number 1. As we head to period number 2, let's move over to the defensive field where Trev Alberts is standing by.
Thank you, Doc. Yeah, I'm over here with the real athletes, the stars, the defensive players. Willie Martinez here is the defensive back coach. What you're seeing here is the defensive backs. You hear a lot of pass, ball, Oski. It's a drill, keeping the feet, keeping your knees bent, using good hips. The key to being a great defensive back is those hips, and then the burst back, and of course, you got to have great hands to pick it off. Pass, ball, Oski. Of course, Georgia has a tremendous amount of talent in their defensive back. Thomas Davis at safety, one of the best safeties in all of college football. Great size, great speed. What separates a great defensive back is you have to have the size and the speed. Number 10 is Thomas Davis. You'll see the hips. You see the explosion. That's why Thomas Davis is so good. But the key in Georgia defensively, getting pressure on the quarterback. But Brian Van Gorder, their defensive coordinator, love to play aggressive. They love to play man-to-man defense. You can only play man-to-man defense if you have great corners, great safeties who will come up and fill against the run. And Georgia certainly has those two things.
Move! Stay low, Greg. Stay low, Greg.
And once again, you see these guys continue. This is very important. On a Saturday, you'll see these guys play. You see them cover But it all starts with the fundamentals right here. Learning how to backpedal, learning how to flip your hips. That's where Georgia's going to make their hay on defense this year. Let's go back over to the other guys with the wide receivers.
And Trev, we talked at the top of the show about the fact that offensively Georgia has to be able to protect the quarterback. They had led the SEC in the dubious distinction of giving up the most sacks, 47 a year ago. And Mike, part of that was because the receivers struggled getting off coverage.
Yeah, Trev talked about the athletes being on the defensive field. He doesn't know what he's talking about. This is the true thoroughbreds right here, receivers. And Doc, you're talking about young wide receivers. When they run the wrong route, or then they'll get the read right, then the quarterback looks bad. Here's what you're doing right now in this drill. You're working on one-on-one passing drill. So you got the receiver, the snap, and the quarterback, and you run the route against air. Now you expect to hit about 95% of these passes against the air. Eventually you'll go on the against a secondary or a corner, one-on-one, and then the whole secondary. And as I watch David Green and DJ Shockley, I'm impressed with these two guys, Jerry. They're two very good quarterbacks, and David Green may be one of the best in the country. DJ Shockley, they say in the spring and the fall practice, they didn't let him run, so his passing has gotten better and better. He just threw that ball right on the money.
We might identify that was Shockley, number 3, and Green, of course, wearing number 14, David Green. And Shockley, we mentioned, out last year with a knee injury. He is a very mobile quarterback, can tuck it and run. A lot of people remember the Charlie Ward kind of approach, and whereas Green is more the prototypical drop-back passer who also had a bit of a knee tweak a year ago against LSU. Let's check in back on the defensive field with Trev.
All right, guys, thanks. We're here with the linebackers. Brian Van Gorder, the defensive coordinator, also coaches the linebackers. And linebackers not a lot different than those defensive backs. Again, they have to be able to catch the football. You see him. Here's Odell Thurman, number 33. He'll miss the first 3 games of the suspension. One of the best linebackers in the SEC. You see, once again, got to have speed, the balance, good hips as a linebacker. And it's important to have good hands. We've got to be real honest. Many linebackers coming in, if they had great hands, we'd be playing tight end. Let's listen in to Coach Van Gorder.
Drive step, drive step. Good. Come on, get it clean. Tuck it. Your hands are wrong. Your basket's wrong. You got no basket there. All right? You try to catch it with your chest. Come on. Come on. Hit. Don't leave your feet. Why are you leaving your feet? Why are you leaving your feet?
45 seconds down,
good. Tuck it away. Tuck it away. Come on, get out of there, babe. Get out of there. Don't leave your feet. Drop step. Drop step. Drop step. No drop step. Joe, you understand? Do it right. Here we go.
Same thing the other way now.
I can't hear anything. Can't hear anything.
Shuffle, skate.
Not loud enough for me. Okay? It's football.
Post the other way. High point.
Here we go.
Good job. Same thing. Same thing.
You stepped under yourself. Do you feel it?
Pedal.
We got Dallas. Okay, let's go.
That was Brian Van Gorder, defensive coordinator, who won the Broyles Award a year ago as the top defensive college football coach in America. We'll come back with more from Athens in a moment.
Tonight at 7 on ESPN, the Twins host the Yankees in a matchup of division leaders. And on ESPN2,
DeMarcus, put it in the box.
The U.S. takes on Jamaica in a World Cup qualifier. At 10, the Braves and Padres. Also at 10,
this has always been a club that likes to slug.
Baseball tonight with scores and highlights. It's all on ESPN and ESPN2 tonight.
Hello, I'm Lindsay Wagner. You know, if you're frustrated by the quality of your sleep or because you have morning back pain, please give us a call right now. It won't cost you a thing except a minute of your time. We'll immediately send you this free video and brochure with all the details about this amazing bed, including complete descriptions of all our bed models, prices, and options. You'll have all the information you need to make a decision that can truly make a difference in your sleep.
It's been amazing, the difference that the Sleep Number bed has made with my sleep personally. I have not woken up with back pain at all, not once since we've gotten it.
I switched from an inner spring mattress to a Sleep Number bed, and now I sleep better than ever.
It's the only bed I know of that's clinically proven to improve your sleep quality and relieve back pain. And it also costs about the same as a traditional innerspring mattress, yet it lasts twice as long. Now, like most of us, before I got my Sleep Number bed, I used to toss and turn during the night. I'd wake up, roll over, find a comfortable position, and then go back to sleep. But on a Sleep Number bed, I actually sleep all the way through the night. And I didn't realize I wasn't getting a good night's sleep until I experienced one on a Sleep Number bed. I also noticed that I have more stamina during the day, and I know it's because I'm getting a more recuperative sleep. So why don't you call us right now and see if it isn't true for you as well.
Call for your free information kit. Sleep Number beds are easy to own, coming in all standard sizes with queen-size mattresses starting as low as $20 a month. Learn about our 20-year limited warranty and risk-free 30-night in-home trial. Call 1-800-648-3737. On a Sleep Number bed by Select Comfort, you can fall asleep faster, sleep more soundly, and wake up more refreshed. Call 1-800-648-3737. We'll rush you this free video, brochure, and price list. That's 1-800-648-3737. The Sleep Number bed is the key to a perfect night's sleep. Call now.
Back in Athens, Georgia, the 4th-ranked Bulldogs continue the preseason practice along with Mike Gottfried and Trev Alberts. I'm Jerry Punch. Glad to have you with us here in Athens. And periods number 3 and 4, they call it the Dallas drill. And Mike Gottfried, what exactly is that?
Doc, this is how you progress into practice. As we saw fundamentals with the quarterbacks and wide receiver. And now you have the quarterbacks and the running backs and tight end versus the linebackers and safeties. Now you get the underneath routes, the angle routes, the flat routes, which are all routes the back runs. Now the back on some protections will have to chip a defensive end who is a good player like a David Pollock. As you're on your route, you make contact with the defensive end. But you'll see this drill right here. Now, with the fullback and tailback and tight end, they'll probably have a play fake here. And then watch, both backs are going to be outlets for the ball. There they went to the tailback. The linebacker breaks on the ball. And you try to put a linebacker in the bind with the running backs underneath them. And then Trev, you got a receiver behind them in zone coverage.
You're right, Coach. I think one of the things the average fan may not understand is how important as a defensive player, and that's what they're working on here, it is to communicate. Communication is the whole key. When one guy enters into your zone and leaves, you need to pass him on to the next guy. If you're playing zone, you're playing man. It's interesting when you're playing in a game and the fans are all crazy trying to make a lot of noise for the offense, they sometimes miss the fact that they hurt the defense because it's difficult to communicate.
You know, you're right on that.
Let's listen to Coach Rick.
That was yours, TD. That was yours.
This opportunity, don't miss an opportunity, man. Deliver when it's time.
Well, he's talking about don't miss an opportunity to get a big play and a sudden change and get the interception. You had a chance there, this safety did, to make the interception, Jerry, and he didn't make it.
Now, while you're watching this Dallas drill here on field number 1, the cornerbacks and wide receivers are going at it on a different field, one-on-one, Mike. So they're basically trying to get off coverage and trying to cover it, basically manning up on each other.
Right, you'll get man coverage where the wide receivers trying to beat the corner and different routes like a post route or an out route or takeoff route. And just the reaction to the wide receiver's route is very important for the corner.
We might mention at the back of this drill, you see the young man on crutches wearing the number 6 on his jersey. That's Craig Lumpkin, who would have been the starting tailback this year. He started for the Bulldogs of Georgia in the bowl game, in the Capital One Bowl, and he got injured on the very first day of practice, tore an ACL, but he is a major part of this team this year, and Coach Rick wanted to make sure we identified him. He is a very gallant young man and a major part of what this program is about. He will be out for the year. Danny Ware will get the start, but certainly Craig Lumpkin a load and did a heck of a job against Purdue down in Orlando on New Year's Day.
And the worst thing about coaching is when you get a player hurt, because you know how much effort they give in the football field, on the field, off the field, preparing for the year, and then you get injured.
Let's check in. I think we're Travis caught up with the head coach.
All right, guys, we're here with Coach Rick watching Dallas drill.
Tommy.
Explain to us, Coach, what are we accomplishing here?
Dallas drill is our tight end and backs versus linebackers and safeties. Over on the other side of the field is the one-on-one happening at the same time, and we're just making sure we're concentrating on the routes thrown to the backs and tight ends. Sometimes you get past skeleton and you tend not to give these guys the opportunities and the reps that they need. So just a concentrated effort on this group.
Right now we see DJ Shockley. You mentioned to me yesterday had one of the best camps he's ever had. Talk about the progress he's made.
Oh, yeah. He's just really comfortable with what we're doing and making great reads. He's beginning to learn to touch the ball when he needs to, and just comfortable. You know, a lot of times when you're second team and you want to prove how good you are, you press a little bit. But now he's comfortable. He knows he's a player, and he's just having a great camp.
You mentioned second team. Obviously, you know the first team guy, David Green. How much the way you carry yourself, your demeanor. We always talk about the poise David Green carries himself with. How much is it a reflection upon you in terms of how you carry yourself?
Well, I think it's just a good fit. I think he's just naturally a guy who has a calm demeanor, and so do I. I think just by just our natural bend, we have it that way. And it is probably good for a quarterback to have the same type of temperament as the head coach. So it's probably been good for him. But Coach Bobo, our quarterback's coach, will get after you pretty good too. And it's good to have a guy like that, too, to keep him straight.
When you look at your offense, now you're in the 4th year. You've progressed an awful lot. For you to get to where the ultimate goal in the Orange Bowl championship game, what's the extra thing that the offense needs to accomplish?
Well, I think the biggest thing we got to do is score touchdowns in the red zone. We got in the red zone probably as much or more than anybody in the country, but we didn't turn them into touchdowns like we should. That's why Billy Bennett set a national record for field goals and scoring and everything else. So we just got to, when we get it in there, and hopefully we'll get it in there just as much, let's get more touchdowns when we get there.
Coach, thanks a lot. Good luck this season. We appreciate it. Let's send it back over to the guys.
Yeah, Mike, he mentioned the red zone concerns. They were 51% on touchdowns in the red zone, and that for an offense like this, that's horrendous. They were the second worst in the SEC last year, and that's a major priority for him in the preseason. Now, he's talking about the quarterbacks, referring to the learning process that's going on right now.
Right, it's teaching on the run, Jerry, because you're going, all this is being taped, so you go back in the tape room tonight and you show them all, but you're teaching on the run right now. You can take some more time tonight. Every pass the quarterback throws, DJ Shockley, Kevin Green, is charted. They'll make sure when they know the route, whether it's complete or incomplete, and see if there's a pattern there. But DJ Shockley's a second-team quarterback. He goes every other time, so he's getting a lot of work on the inside drill there, the Dallas drill. That was an angle pass to the fullback right there where you try to fake like you're going to flat and then you break it up inside the angle. Bill Walsh made that famous. But the quarterbacks get a lot of work. But once you get in the season, Jerry, then you got the first-team guy's going to get most of the work, second-team guy's going to get a little, and third-team guy's not going to get anything.
Well, Trev Alberts has moved over to where Rodney Garner has the defensive line working. Trev, what's going on over there?
Yeah, Rodney Garner's done a great job with the defensive line here at Georgia, and a lot of people obviously know about David Pollock, the tremendous ability he has off the corner. But I really think the difference for Georgia this year is going to be the play and the interior guys, Kedrick Golston, number 97, and Gerald Anderson, number 92. If they're going to be what they need to be up front, if David Pollock continues to get double and triple teams, these two big fellas in the middle need to beat single blocks. That's the whole key to this front four. And then, of course, Will Thompson, number 58, comes back after missing last season. If he can get some pressure from the other side, this front four could be the best front four in the SEC. As you see here, Coach Garner using his hands. One of the whole keys as a defensive lineman, the offensive linemen want to get their hands on you. If the offensive lineman gets his hand on you, you're done. So the key as a defensive lineman is to use your hands. You have to have great feet, but more importantly, you got to have great hands. Send it back over to Doc.
All right, thank you, Trev. And that horn signals the end of this period. We'll have more from Athens, Georgia. The Georgia Bulldogs getting set for the season here in 2004.
The Detroit Pistons put on a powerful show and are once again NBA champions.
Here it is.
Celebrate the Pistons' victory with Sports Illustrated's NBA Champions package, featuring this must-have DVD, the Pistons' official NBA Championship DVD. Plus, this Sports Illustrated hardbound commemorative gives an inside look at the power and pride of the Pistons. Both are free with your paid subscription to SI. Act now and get 56 issues for only $1.59 an issue. Save over 50% off the cover price. This Pistons long sleeve Champions t-shirt is also free when you use your credit card. It's lightweight and fit for a champion. You'll get all 3 Pistons collectibles free. Don't miss this incredible Detroit Pistons NBA Championship package. Available exclusively from Sports Illustrated.
Call 1-800-348-7500 or go online at sitvoffer.com. Call now.
Welcome, everyone, to the ESPN Sports Center. From this very desk, in the coming weeks and months, we'll be filling you in on the pulse of sporting activity, not only around the country, but around the world as well. If it takes an interview, we'll do it. If it takes play-by-play, we'll do it. If it takes commentary, we'll do that too. That's the way we'll function from the ESPN Sports Center, and we'll be filling you in on further updates as the broadcast progresses.
Are you suffering from serious low back pain? Perhaps your doctors even recommended surgery. Well, now, there's another alternative.
A non-surgical breakthrough called VAX-D takes the pressure off the discs and spinal nerves and lets the back mend itself.
VAX-D was found to be 70% effective in treating these serious back problems.
Call 866-557-PAIN.
There's no reason to suffer anymore.
Every morning, CNN's American Morning connects you directly to the news. Health, money, politics, breaking news.
CNN is now reporting.
Every morning on CNN, the connection matters. Trust American Morning, where real news makes the difference. Weekday mornings on CNN.
Watch CNN's American Morning on Comcast Channel 33, where real news makes a difference.
Practice continuing here in Athens, Georgia. The 2004 Bulldogs ranked 4th in the preseason in the ESPN USA Today poll, 17 days away from their opener. Georgia All-American defensive end David Pollock is featured in ESPN, the magazine's college football preview, on newsstands now. You can read about Pollock and others also by visiting ESPN.com. Offensive line now getting a lot of work here in Trev. This was a major concern last year. They were very, very young, all freshmen and sophomores a year ago, which may explain the 47 sacks allowed. But they have matured and experienced, and I think Neil Callaway has done a superb job as the offensive coordinator who conducts this offensive line drill and getting these guys ready to play.
Doc, you're right. He really has. You know, in talking to Coach Rick yesterday, he really believes that one of the real improvements on this team is going to come from the offensive line. He pointed out Daniel Inman, number 72 at strong tackle, lost some weight, really made a commitment. They were able to move Max Gene Gillis in at guard because of the progress of Dennis Rowland, number 66, 6'9", 320-pound junior. But what you're seeing here, this is one-on-ones. You just have the spider pads on. But I'm telling you what, this is what it's all about. The offensive line, the defensive line. This is what the guys will go back in the locker room. They'll brag about it. And this offensive line going against this front four will get a lot better. Let's listen into Coach Callaway.
Come on, Waco. Come on, Waco. Bend your knees, Waco. Bend your knees, Waco. Stay inside. Shoot the hand. Waco, Waco. Quit lunging, quit lunging, quit lunging. Come on, Ryan. Come on, Ryan. There you go. There you go. Oh, good job, Ryan. Good job, Ryan. Hurry now. Good snaps. Zeb, patience now, right? Patience, Zeb. Keep inside leverage. There you go. Oh. Come on. Hey, you lunged it. Hey, he stood up and did that. Shoot the hand, right? Shoot the hand, shoot the hand. Come on, Shaq. No depth, Shaq, no depth. Right in. Good job. Come on, James. Compete, James, compete. Use those feet you got, Right. Now run! Hey, that's a good set. If you just got to keep running them out, all right? That's a good set. Good job. Good set. Come on, Waco. Bend the knees, Waco.
Neil Callaway trying to really get this offensive line together. You mentioned Max Gene Gillis, who was an all-conference tackle a year ago, moving to guard. He tweaked an ankle a couple days ago, back on the practice field today. But a lot of people very impressed about his quickness and his footwork, and that's probably one of the reasons they wanted to move him to guard, I guess.
Well, as an offensive lineman, it's all about your feet and your hands. I mean, if you watch that drill and you listen to Coach Callaway, he says, watch your hands, don't lunge, meaning you got to keep your balance, you got to have your hands as a defensive guy. If one of those guys at 6'7", 320 gets his hands on you, it's over. It's done. So you watch the defensive line of Coach Ronnie Gardner helping those guys get the hands off of from the offensive line.
Well, from the big uglies, they call them here in the trenches, let's go over to the skeleton drill where Mike is hanging with the quarterbacks.
Jerry, this is past skeleton drill, and it's 7-on-7. It's linebackers and secondary versus the wide receivers and running backs and tight ends. And you'll see and you'll hear David Green's the quarterback right now. So you graduate from a 1-on-1 passing drill to a Dallas drill where you use the running backs. Now you got everybody included in except the offensive line. You'll hear a horn go off in 4 seconds, and David Green has to throw the ball before that horn goes off. And that's for pass protection purposes, even though you don't have a defensive line right here. The other thing I think is interesting in the SEC is you'll notice the officials out here. They have former SEC officials, and the officials grade every play. They'll throw the flag here, so you're always under the scrutiny of the officials and the coaches and the tape machine all the time. Now you see this route right here, and what we talked about was the key, the big interception by Thomas Davis, number 10, who I think is a great football player. Trev was talking to him, talking about him early. Yes, Jerry.
You know, Mike, as you look at David Green, he doesn't look that impressive or imposing as a figure, but he's just what he does, I guess, technically on the field. What makes him such a good quarterback? I know Mark Richt has had a lot of great ones, including a couple of Heisman Trophy winners he had at Florida State, and he's really high on David. Why is this kid so good?
Jerry, I'm going to tell you what I think the biggest term to define David Green. He knows how to manage the game at the line of scrimmage because the coaches call the plays, but once the play starts or the pre-snap read, which is the quarterback now, right now, DJ Shockley, looking over the defense. He's doing the pre-snap read. Now he has to manage the game, change the play, and I think David Green is excellent at that.
You know, Coach, I talked to Coach Richt yesterday, and we talked about David Green a little bit, and I was actually a little bit surprised. He said that of all the quarterbacks he's coached, the player that is the most ready to play in the NFL is David Green. I think a lot of it, just what you said, has to do with that poise. And, you know, when I talked to Coach Richt earlier, he kind of mentioned, well, David Green, that's his demeanor. I think it's huge, the fact that Coach Richt has that calm demeanor. It allows David Green to be poised. And you playing in the SEC on the road, you need a quarterback with poise, and certainly David Green has that.
Trev, Mark Richt was a former quarterback at Miami University and played in pro football, so he benefits David Green. But I think David Green really is a special player. It's like Jerry Aston. Here's an interception again by the linebacker, and that's what you want if you're the defensive side. Nobody's ever happy in this drill because if you're an offensive guy and you intercepted, you're mad. If you're a defensive guy and you intercepted, you're happy. So, but David Green, I think, is going to have an outstanding senior year here, a junior, senior player that's done great here at the University of Georgia, and I just think that his future is very bright for the NFL.
Mike, you mentioned Mark Richt playing quarterback at Miami. He happened to have the honor of playing with Jim Kelly at Miami. When he went to the Broncos, he played with a guy named Elway out there, so he's been around some pretty good ones. Let's listen in.
Good job, David.
Don't come out from the outside in. Let's go.
Get back, get back, get back. We only got 2 groups, men. Slow the pace down. Slow the pace down.
We're going to go deep on you, Jack.
Talking about slowing the pace down because I think they feel like they got a scrimmage this afternoon. They don't want to wear these guys out where they don't have legs for that scrimmage, Trev.
Yeah, most important thing. I mean, that's where you evaluate. You can look at a kid doing skelly. These kids will all look good. The routes will be nice. Put some pads on. If they know when they come across the middle, they're going to get blown up by Thomas Davis. That's all of a sudden when you get the alligator hands coming out. But, you know, we talked about David Green. Let's all be in agreement, guys. This team is going to be terrific on offense only if they get a solid running attack. I mean, you're playing in the SEC. You can have David Green and great wide receivers. If you can't run the ball, you're in trouble.
And the receivers have to be able to hang on to the football, too, which was the trouble last year. We'll come back with more practice from the University of Georgia in just a moment.
Hey, Dan. What's wrong?
Hey, Grant. Bad show. Hair looked bad. Teleprompter went down. Made some mistakes on some highlights.
I got something to cheer you up.
Thanks, Grant.
getting the best of Farley and Farrell. The ultimate double shot of comedy from Time Life Video.
Oh my God, it was hot.
All the gut-busting moments from SNL's Heavyweights.
Lay off me, I'm starving. We've got a great show lined up for you.
You'll get the best of Chris Farley and the best of Will Ferrell. That's 2 VHS or DVDs bursting with over 50 hilarious routines, all for only $29.99. But that's not all.
Now's the time in the show when I like to give Denise a call and hang up on her.
Call right now with your credit card order and you'll get an incredible bonus volume, the best of Adam Sandler. You'll get all 3 jam-packed DVDs or VHS, and you still pay only $29.99.
Scrum-trelescent.
It's all your favorite Farley.
Now you kids are probably asking yourselves, hey man, how can we get back on the right track?
It's all the funniest Farrell.
My name is Craig. I did drugs once. I am a Spartan. So check me out.
Plus all the silliest Sandler.
Give me the candy.
You'll get the biggest laughs from the biggest stars, plus DVD bonuses, including rehearsal outtakes you didn't see live. You won't find this offer anywhere else, so call now with your credit card order to get all the best of Farley, Ferrell, and Sandler. That's over 3 hours of SNL's best on 3 DVD or VHS for only $29.99.
Call 1-800-483-2938 with your credit card to get the best of Chris Farley, Will Ferrell, and Adam Sandler on DVD or VHS for $29.99 plus shipping and handling. That's 1-800-483-2938 to get all 3 volumes or order online at timelife.com.
Back in Athens, Georgia, where the Bulldogs of Georgia are continuing preparation for a September 4th home opener against Georgia Southern. You can join Trev Alberts for an online chat immediately following Georgia football practice. Log on to ESPN.com and discuss the upcoming college football season online with Trev. How about a little Trev talk online? ESPN.com coming up after our show here today.
I can't operate a computer. I'd like to talk to him, though.
Hey, Godfrey, he'll email in.
Yeah, he'll come in. You'll ask him a tough question.
Like what's 2 + 8?
Yeah. Guys, what are we seeing here? This is the team periods, right?
This is the team period now. You graduate to team now. Now you got everybody together, the offensive line, the wide receivers, tight end, running backs, quarterback, and you're working against Georgia Southern. Now, I guess the most important thing here is Trev never was a scout team guy because he was always a star.
But I can identify with that.
You can identify it. The scout team is the team on defense. Now, they have to forget almost everything they've learned and now teach or perform the defense of Georgia Southern. There are most valuable guys on this football field right now because if they show the right defense, then your offense gets ready for the game in pretty good shape.
Coach, I was on the scout team, and
really?
I got to tell you, it's the most demoralizing thing that a guy goes through because every one of those kids standing on the other side right now on the scout team, holding up the card, trying to be Georgia Southern, were great high school football players. They were elite players. They come here, they find themselves at the bottom of the totem pole, and it's a real eye opener. And you got big offensive linemen and 300-pound guys running over you. But you're right. The key to that offense is the look they get from the scout team, and they've got to go hard and they've got to show a good look.
We might explain that we are on the offensive field here watching just the offense, the starting offense, work against the scout team defense because that on the defensive field right now, Brian Van Gorder and company are trying to work on stopping the options. So they need to work on some option. We're not going to be able to show that to you because the Georgia Southern is an option team. So let's listen in and hear what the coaches are having to say here on the offensive side.
Run it. Release, let's go. Eagles up, 2 eagle. Eagles up. Skill look to the boundary now, skill look to the boundary. Come on, Albert, let's go. Hurry, let's go. Run. All right, one's up, one base, we're in blitz. One base, we're in blitz. One base, we're in blitz. Yeah. One base, win, blitz. Defense. Do a good job in that defense. Come on, defense, do a good job. Let's go, D. Come on, D.
Hey, number seven.
Hold on. All right, here we go.
Get a shot.
There you go, there you go. Cover. There we go. Hello.
Now, Mike, you hear him talking about eagle up. He's bringing personnel on and also calling formation. Right?
Doc, I think here's the most important thing I just picked up in the last couple of seconds.
Come on, man.
You saw Coach Callaway, the offensive coordinator, praise the defense. He's trying to get what Trev said. You're trying to get a lot out of them right now. Now, this is a period where they're working against the blitzes of Georgia Southern. So the offensive line's got to be alert. The quarterback, the releases, the wide receivers. And if you watch all the coaches right now, and the managers, they have scripts in their hand. They've already written the plays up last night they want to run. Here's a bust right there. So they'll run this play again because David Green got sacked on that play.
Now, what was the bust? What was it talking about? We saw the running back, the freshman release, Danny Ware. Now, where was the bust on that?
I think it's between the guard and tackle right there. I think they left go the defensive tackle, and he ran right into David Green with pressure.
That's the whole point of the look. I mean, you get Georgia Southern's blitz package, you let your offensive line see it and realize what ones give you troubles, and I guarantee you tomorrow they'll run those same ones again so they see it, and then it comes on Saturday, and it's second nature.
And if they had a more experienced running back in the backfield, they wouldn't be as concerned, because that was a concern last year with the freshman tailback. He was unable to pick up some of the blitzes and got Green sacked 47 times.
Doc, that's a good point you bring up. When you have a freshman running back, the other teams read the newspapers, so they know you got a freshman running back. They're going to try to show blitzes to get to the freshman running back, make him pick up the blitz. And then the one thing about the freshman running back that's going to start, he was in school in January. More and more freshmen are doing that, and that gets them through spring practice, and they're a little bit more prepared than the average freshman.
Keep it going.
All right, let's check back in with the offensive coordinator, Neil Callaway.
Two Panther up next. We're going bottoms up, Bex. Going bottoms up, Will, right? There you go. Hey, come on, two. Two Panther, let's go. Come on, Shaq, attack. Shaq, how come you're not sweating, Shaq? How come you're not sweating? Let's go. Cover out, O-line. Cover out when the ball's thrown, O-line. Cover out. Hold. Why in the heck are we up? Why are we up, Shaq? Come on, man. Come on, let's go. Hurry. Cover.
I need a backer.
Two base. Hurry. Two base.
You hear him talking about up, down, and Shaq. He's talking about Ken Shackelford, big number 79, who's the strong tackle, sophomore at 6'5", 306. The coaches feel this young man has enormous potential, and that's why you push a kid like that in practice.
Yeah, you really do, Doc. And everybody's got a Shaq anymore. Anybody over 6'9" is going to be called Shaq.
And not only that, but if you let him slip on something as minor as that, then they start slipping on other things. That's why they're so insistent on all the little fundamental and technique things right, and you start with your stance. If you're not doing that correctly, are you going to get your block correctly? That's what a good coach will do.
Coach on the run. You got to coach on the run, because you don't want guys standing around. You want to run as many plays and get them on tape as you possibly can. And what Trev said, then you'll go and correct them in the tape room.
Remember, this is practice number 11 of 25. This is the final day of two-a-days. School or classes begin tomorrow here at Georgia, so two-a-days are over, and these players will certainly love hearing that. They are 17 days away from their opener. In fact, let's take a look at the 2004 University of Georgia football schedule. They open up at home here in Sanford Stadium against Georgia Southern. Then they go on the road to Columbia, South Carolina to play a rejuvenated Gamecock team with Lou Holtz, Marshall at home. And then look at the early part of October, back-to-back weekends. LSU and Tennessee come to town, guys. That's an awfully tough schedule early in the year.
Well, I think it just comes down to this. I mean, you got to beat Florida.
And they haven't done that since 1997. They've lost 6 in a row to the Gators and 13 to the last 14 to Florida. Now, what's going on behind us at the end of practice is called a watermelon bust. These guys are signifying the end of two-a-days, and we're sharing some watermelon up here on one of the fields. Guys, quickly, your predictions on the Georgia Bulldogs for 2004.
Georgia should have a great team. I think they're going to fight with Florida for the championship of the East.
I think October 30th, it's all about the game with Florida, but I think they get to the BCS top 3 team, and I think David Green will be in New York as a finalist for the Heisman Trophy.
I think the key, the back-to-back weekends early in October. LSU comes to town, and the Tennessee Volunteers a week later. Can they win them both? 2 big emotional games on back-to-back Saturdays.
Hey, Coach, did you...
Coming up next on ESPN, the Montreal Expos and the San Francisco Giants meet on ESPN Day Game. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Well, folks here in Athens believe this will be the year of the Bulldogs, and they just might be right. For Mike Gottfried, Trev Alberts, and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Jerry Punch saying so long from Athens, Georgia. The Bulldogs are getting ready to play.
It's a day game, and what a place to have a game. San Francisco is the site, the beautiful city by the bay, and what a glorious summer day it is. Willie Mays Plaza outside the ballpark honoring the Say Hey Kid. And today, these fans will pay one price and see 2 games, a scheduled double header. Under the sun today from San Francisco, the Montreal Expos are in town. These people are still going to get here in time to see them take on the San Francisco Giants for game.
Audition
Coconut cream pie, anyone?
for their one chance
Ginger ain't got nothing on me.
to